The icy winds howled through the dense Alaskan wilderness, sweeping over endless stretches of snow-covered terrain. Winter had locked the land in its harsh embrace, with temperatures plummeting below freezing and most creatures retreating into deep hibernation. But on this particular morning, something unusual shattered the stillness. Ethan Carter, a seasoned wildlife ranger, adjusted the focus on his binoculars, scanning the landscape from the elevated watchtower near his station. The snow was pristine, untouched, except for one strange sight that made his pulse quicken. A massive, dark figure emerged in the distance, moving sluggishly across the frozen ground. It was a bear, wounded, bleeding, and heading directly toward the ranger station. Bears in the wild typically avoided human settlements, especially during winter. Most should have been nestled deep in their dens, conserving energy. But this one was different. It was pushing forward despite its obvious agony, dragging itself through the relentless cold with a determination that sent a shiver down Ethan's spine. He immediately radioed his partner, Mia Thompson, who was inside preparing supplies for the day. "Mia, you need to see this. We've got a grizzly heading straight for us. And it's in bad shape." Within minutes, Mia rushed outside, her breath forming misty clouds in the frigid air. She peered through her scope and gasped. The bear's heavy body bore deep gashes, its fur matted with streaks of crimson. Each step seemed to sap the last of its strength, yet it didn't waver from its path. "That's not normal," Mia muttered. "Why would it come here?" A few more rangers gathered as the bear's staggering approach continued. They watched in stunned silence as the animal reached the perimeter of the station and collapsed onto the thick snow. Instead of growling or attempting to flee, the bear did something astonishing. It lifted its head and locked eyes with them. Ethan had seen many animals in distress, but there was something almost human in the bear's expression, an intelligence, a silent plea for help. It wasn't just wandering aimlessly. It had sought them out. News of the bear's arrival spread quickly through the ranger network, drawing the attention of wildlife experts. One of them was Dr. Oliver Reed, a renowned zoologist who had spent decades studying bear behavior. When he received the call, he knew this was no ordinary case. "I need to see this for myself," Dr. Reed told his team. "If a wild bear is consciously seeking human aid, it changes everything we know about their intelligence." While the team prepared for a potential rescue, the rangers observed the bear carefully. Despite its weakened state, it remained alert, watching them with an almost eerie understanding. Every movement it made was purposeful, as if it knew help was finally within reach. Mia cautiously approached, her voice low and soothing. "We're here to help, big guy. Just hold on." The bear exhaled heavily, its breath visible in the icy air, and laid its massive head down, exhausted but seemingly trusting. The moment was surreal, a creature of the wild. One of the most formidable predators in the region, surrendering itself to human hands. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden light over the frozen landscape, the rangers prepared for the most delicate and dangerous rescue they had ever attempted. What none of them knew was that this was just the beginning of a revelation that would change the way the world saw these magnificent creatures forever. The rescue team moved quickly as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the frozen tundra. Dr. Reed and his assistants arrived just in time to witness the extraordinary scene, a grizzly bear, battered but determined, lying motionless at the doorstep of human civilization. Ethan and Mia exchanged a quick nod before setting their plan into motion. The first step was administering a tranquilizer strong enough to subdue the massive creature without causing further distress. Dr. Reed carefully adjusted his dart gun, his experienced hands steady despite the tension thick in the air. As the dart found its mark, the bear barely flinched. Its breathing remained deep and steady, eyes still fixed on the rangers as if silently acknowledging their presence. Within minutes, its body relaxed, finally surrendering to exhaustion. With the bear safely sedated, The team moved in to assess its injuries. Mia knelt beside the creature, her gloved hands gently parting the blood-soaked fur. What she found made her gasp. "These aren't just battle wounds," she murmured, looking up at Ethan. "This bear was caught in a trap." Dr. Reed crouched beside her, examining the deep lacerations that wrapped around the bear's limbs. Metal wire had cut into its flesh, leaving behind telltale scars of a desperate struggle for freedom. Infection had already set in, the wounds swollen and raw. The bear had likely been suffering for days before mustering the strength to seek help. "This confirms it," Dr. Reed muttered. "It didn't just stumble here by accident. It came knowing we could help." The realization sent a ripple of unease through the group. Bears were known for their intelligence. But this level of awareness, this ability to associate humans with safety, was unheard of. The team worked tirelessly through the night, treating the bear's wounds with antiseptics and stitching up the worst of the injuries. They injected antibiotics to fight the infection and carefully wrapped its limbs to prevent further damage. It was an unprecedented moment in wildlife history, humans providing emergency medical aid to an apex predator that had willingly sought them out. As dawn broke, the bear remained stable. Its massive chest rose and fell in a steady rhythm, a stark contrast to the labored breathing of the night before. The rangers exchanged weary but hopeful glances. They had done everything they could, now, it was up to the bear to fight for survival. But just as they began to relax, Dr. Reed made a discovery that changed everything. Scanning the bear's body, he found something embedded just beneath its thick hide, a tracking chip. Mia, still tending to the bear's bandages, frowned. "That's not one of ours." Dr. Reed carefully extracted the small device and examined it closely. It bore an identification code linked to a research project conducted years ago. Ethan, retrieving his laptop, quickly accessed the database, his fingers flying over the keyboard. Within moments, the screen flashed with the bear's profile. "No way," Ethan breathed, eyes widening as he read the details. This bear was tagged as a cub, 15 years ago. Mia's jaw dropped. 15 years? That means it's been watching us all this time. Dr. Reed leaned back, the weight of the revelation settling over him. This bear didn't just stumble upon us. It remembered. It learned. And when it had nowhere else to turn, it chose to come here. Silence hung heavy in the air as they absorbed the gravity of what they had just uncovered. This wasn't just an injured bear seeking refuge, this was proof that animals were far more intelligent and capable of memory than previously believed. And as they looked down at the sleeping giant, they knew this was only the beginning of something much greater. As the days passed, the bear, now affectionately named Titan by the rangers, continued to show signs of incredible resilience. Despite the extensive trauma, its body responded well to treatment, and it began regaining strength faster than expected. But what fascinated the researchers most wasn't just its physical recovery, it was Titan's behavior. Unlike other wild animals that usually retreat into fear or aggression after trauma, Titan displayed an uncanny ability to recognize and respond to the humans who cared for it. Mia noticed it first. Each morning, when she approached Titan's enclosure, the bear would lift its head, making direct eye contact as if acknowledging her presence. It wasn't just a passive response, there was intent behind those eyes. One afternoon, as Ethan reached in to adjust a bandage, Titan did something no one expected. Instead of reacting defensively, the bear extended its massive paw, placing it gently against Ethan's arm. It was a moment of undeniable trust, something unheard of in a wild bear. Dr. Reed documented these behaviors meticulously. "This isn't just a bear recovering from injuries," he explained. "This is a bear actively engaging with us, showing an intelligence beyond what we've ever seen." Titan's story quickly gained attention worldwide, drawing interest from scientists eager to study its cognitive abilities. Could bears form deeper connections than previously believed? Could they remember acts of kindness and associate them with specific people? Titan was proving that the answers might be far more complex than anyone had imagined. As Titan continued to heal, one question remained: what would happen when the time came for its release? Would it choose to return to the wild, or had its experience with humans changed it forever? The day of Titan's release had finally arrived. The Rangers stood in a semicircle as the transport gates opened, revealing the vast, snowy wilderness beyond. Titan, now fully recovered, hesitated at the threshold, glancing back at the people who had become an unexpected part of its life. Ethan felt his throat tighten. "Go on, big guy," he murmured. "This is your home." Titan let out a deep exhale, its breath visible in the cold air. Then, after a long pause, it took slow, deliberate steps forward, crossing the boundary back into the wild. But just before disappearing into the trees, it did something no one could have expected. It turned, locking eyes with Mia, Ethan, and Dr. Reed one last time. For a long moment, the bear stood there, as if committing their faces to memory. And then, with a slow, knowing nod of its massive head, Titan vanished into the wilderness. The silence that followed was profound. The Rangers knew they had witnessed something rare. Something extraordinary. Titan hadn't just survived, it had left behind proof that the bond between humans and animals was deeper than anyone had ever imagined. As the months passed, occasional reports of a massive grizzly roaming the territory emerged. Titan was thriving, a legend in the wild. But for those who had saved it, one truth remained clear: they had not only saved a bear's life, they had also uncovered a secret about nature's intelligence, one that would be studied for years to come. And somewhere, deep in the heart of the wilderness, Titan remembered them too. Titan's story did not end when he disappeared into the wild. His journey sparked international attention, changing the way people viewed not just bears, but the intelligence and emotional depth of wildlife as a whole. Researchers launched new studies to further investigate animal cognition, inspired by Titan's ability to seek out help and remember human kindness. Wildlife conservation groups lobbied for stricter regulations against illegal trapping, using Titan's case as evidence of the suffering these cruel devices caused. Laws were enacted to prevent further harm to bears and other wild animals, ensuring that Titan's struggle would not be in vain. Back at the ranger station, life returned to normal, but Ethan, Mia, and Dr. Reed found themselves forever changed. Their bond with Titan had left an indelible mark on their hearts, reinforcing the belief that the connection between humans and nature was deeper than they had ever realized. In the years that followed, occasional sightings of a massive grizzly with distinctive scars fueled rumors that Titan was still watching over his territory. Some claimed he had been seen near ranger stations during harsh winters, as if checking on the humans who had once saved his life. Titan had become more than a legend. He was a symbol of resilience, trust, and the undeniable bridge between man and nature, a reminder that sometimes, even the fiercest creatures of the wild could surprise us with their capacity for understanding and connection. Years passed, but Titan's story never faded. His incredible journey had become a symbol of resilience, trust, and the extraordinary bond between man and nature. The scientific discoveries sparked by his case led to groundbreaking advancements in wildlife research, revealing a depth of intelligence and emotional complexity in bears that had never been documented before. At the ranger station, Titan's presence lingered in the memories of Ethan, Mia, and Dr. Reed. Each winter, as the first snowfall blanketed the land, they found themselves scanning the horizon, half expecting to see the familiar massive figure watching from a distance. Occasionally, they would hear reports of a giant bear with distinct scars spotted in the wilderness, a guardian of the land who had once placed his trust in humans. One crisp autumn morning, Ethan received a call that sent a chill down his spine. A group of hikers had found the remains of a massive grizzly deep in the heart of the protected reserve. When the Rangers arrived, they knew instantly, it was Titan. His body lay in a peaceful clearing near a river, a place where bears often roamed freely. There were no signs of struggle, no wounds, just the quiet stillness of a life that had come full circle. Mia knelt beside him, her hand resting gently on his thick fur. He made it, she whispered. He lived the life he fought for. The team decided not to disturb the sight. Instead, they built a small marker nearby, honoring the bear who had changed their lives. Word of Titan's passing spread quickly, and soon, people from all over the world began sending messages of gratitude, sharing how his story had touched their hearts. In the following months, the reserve was officially expanded, creating a protected sanctuary in Titan's name. His legacy lived on not just in the land he had roamed, but in the hearts of those who had witnessed his incredible journey. One evening, as Ethan stood on the watchtower, he felt a strange sense of peace. The wind carried the scent of pine, the distant sounds of the wild filling the air. And for a fleeting moment, he could almost hear it, the soft, steady breathing of a bear who had once defied all odds, choosing trust over fear. Proving that the bond between man and nature was more profound than anyone had ever imagined. Titan's legend would never fade, and in the vast, untamed wilderness, his spirit would roam forever. The lessons we learn. Titan's story offers profound lessons that transcend the boundaries between human and animal, science and nature, and survival and compassion. His journey. From suffering to trust, from rescue to healing, and ultimately to a legacy that reshaped wildlife conservation, teaches us invaluable truths about the world we share. The power of trust. Titan, an apex predator known for his solitary and cautious nature, defied expectations by seeking help from humans. This teaches us that trust, even in the most unlikely circumstances, can be a bridge between species, between people, and between adversaries. Just as Titan placed his faith in the Rangers, we are reminded that sometimes, survival depends on the ability to trust others. Compassion has no boundaries. The Rangers, scientists, and conservationists who came together to save Titan demonstrated the boundless nature of compassion. Their willingness to risk their own safety to help an injured bear reinforces the idea that kindness is not limited to humans alone, it extends to all living creatures. Resilience in the face of adversity. Despite his suffering, Titan pressed on, enduring pain and exhaustion to reach those he instinctively knew could help him. His strength and determination reflect the human spirit's own ability to persevere through hardships, showing that endurance, courage, and hope can carry us through even the darkest times. Intelligence in nature. Titan's remarkable ability to navigate back to a place of safety after years apart from human interaction challenges our understanding of wildlife intelligence. His case encourages us to rethink the depth of awareness, memory, and reasoning that animals possess, urging us to respect and protect them not as mere creatures, but as sentient beings with emotions and knowledge beyond what we once believed. Our responsibility to the wild. Titan's suffering was not caused by nature, but by human interference, illegal traps that left him wounded and near death. His story serves as a stark reminder of the impact humanity has on wildlife, reinforcing the need for ethical conservation practices and stronger laws to protect nature's inhabitants. The legacy we leave behind. Titan's life, though filled with challenges, left behind a powerful legacy that changed laws, inspired new research, and deepened our understanding of the natural world. His journey reminds us that our actions, no matter how small, can shape the future, for people, for animals, and for the planet itself. In the end, Titan was more than just a bear. He was a symbol of survival, a teacher of resilience, and a bridge between two worlds. His story continues to inspire, proving that even in the wildest of places, where nature reigns supreme, there exists a deep and undeniable connection between all living beings. As we move forward, may we carry these lessons with us, honoring Titan's memory by fostering a world where trust, compassion, and respect for nature lead the way. Join our mission, subscribe today. If Titan's story moved you, imagine how many more incredible stories are out there waiting to be told. By subscribing to our channel, you become part of a growing community dedicated to uncovering the extraordinary connections between humans and wildlife. Click subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that touches the heart. Share your thoughts in the comments. What inspired you the most about Titan's journey? Help spread Titan's legacy by sharing this story with your friends and family. Together, we can raise awareness, protect wildlife, and celebrate the powerful bonds that connect us all. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Stay tuned for more unforgettable stories. Stories.